Hey guys, Starla Moore here with the Handmade Alphas, and today I have something really cool that I want to share with you, partially thanks to Etsy Rank, but there's going to be some tips that you can still apply even if you don't use this really cool new tool. I just wanted to throw out that quick disclaimer, and as always, I am not an affiliate of Etsy Rank. I just really love this tool, and I want to share one of these brand new features that just rolled out, or will technically be rolling out today. I actually am kind of beta testing it right now, so I had a little bit of early access so I could show you guys exactly what this awesome new tool is. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to resurrect your Etsy ratings and how to prevent bad feedback before it happens. Speaking of feedback though, this is an entirely new video software program that I'm using, and I'm really excited to hear your feedback on this particular video. If you have time, please let me know down in the comments what you think of this new type of video, and I might start leaning towards this from now on for future videos. So moving right along, the first thing that we're going to be doing for our little bad review prevention guide is we're going to head over to Etsy Rank's brand new rating tool, and this is available for Pro members, which if you're not aware, Pro is $10 a month. Totally worth it in my opinion. I absolutely love it, and I pretty much use my Pro account on a weekly basis, so it's not anything that's going to break your bank, but like I said, this part is completely optional. It's just something that is really going to help give you an edge to know exactly where those bad feedback ratings are coming from and where to fix them. So we're going to use it to analyze your current feedback score. So currently what we are looking at is actually my Etsy shop, and it isn't really the best shop to use it as an example, simply because I have a perfect feedback score, and that's partially why I decided to create this training for you today, because I know so many sellers ask me, Starla, you have such amazing feedback for your Etsy shop, and it seems like no matter what I do, there's always that one customer who just isn't able to leave a positive review. It's like that, those people that are just never happy no matter what. They're the school teacher that never gave A+ to anyone because they said no one's perfect, that type of deal. So I really want to show you guys an example of a shop with some bad reviews. So we're going to kind of use a mock shop for the sake of this training. So we're just going to say we're using this imaginary shop and they don't have the best reviews. So that's basically what you're going to be seeing here. This is the overall percentage feedback score based by your Etsy feedback and ratings. And then you have your estimated star rating. So though it says you've got maybe 3.5 stars, it could be closer to 3.6 because I believe that what we're seeing is only half ratings. However, you can see that that actual star rating down to the decimal point, which I think is really helpful. You can see how many pieces of feedback were analyzed, the number of positive feedback that you have received, neutral feedback, and negative feedback. So we can see exactly where a majority of these really icky reviews are coming from. So we're going to go ahead and scroll down. There's a couple recommendations for corrective actions. We're going to go ahead and scroll into some of the neutral and negative feedback that was left. And something that you're going to notice is where it says editable. Now, this basically means that you may or may not have the ability to contact this buyer to have them edit their feedback, which is already kind of a difficult task, which we're going to be going into in just a few minutes. But basically, this is going to let you know if it's even possible, because after 100 days, you lose the ability to edit this feedback. So these guys here, obviously we aren't going to be able to work with. However, this one it's possible to get this feedback edited. Now, in order to do this, you need to grant permission to Etsy Rank to allow you to actually connect to your account so you can immediately go and message the buyer. It's just a shortcut. All it's going to do is make this button right here clickable, and it's going to take you directly to the area where you can convo the buyer who left the bad review so that you can message them and settle that dispute. So like I said, this isn't something that you need to do, but it's just a little shortcut that makes it easier, especially if you have a lot of bad reviews that you need to go over. So then there's going to be some little help tips down here. This video is actually going to be linked in here in just a little bit, and you can kind of see a little glossary here that talks about the possible and not possible edits to the reviews. So once you review your feedback score, it's obviously a good idea to go ahead and deal with any of the disputes that you currently can deal with. I know that it's kind of hard when you only have 100 days to do so, but if it's something that you've been putting off, it might be something that you want to do rather quickly now that you know. So my first tip for handling disputes, number 1, deal with disputes tenderly. The thing is, nobody likes to leave bad feedback, and if somebody left bad feedback, they're probably not very happy. So if you come at them aggressive or, even just being short in your tone, it might make them angry and it might lead them to not change their review. The last thing that someone wants to do is receive a product that they're not happy with. So definitely try to be empathetic of their situation and help them the best that you can. Now, one little tip that I always tell my handmade alphas is that the customer's positive review is worth more than the price of the item. Basically, their positive review is worth a higher dollar amount than the price of that item, because your positive reputation in the marketplace is going to turn over more sales than the price of the item that you sold to them. Does that make sense? So basically, say that you have a shop with a solid 5 stars and they have a competitor who makes a very similar product for a little bit cheaper, but they only have a 3-star rating. They might have products that are almost completely identical in nature, and one of the products is even a little bit cheaper. However, the buyer is still more likely to buy from the shop that has the positive review. Now look at this over a few years, and it's really obvious that the shop that has the higher reviews is the one that's going to win out in the end and make the most sales. I understand how this can get harder with more expensive items. You just have to think of things in the long run and think about how you really want to stand in the marketplace. What do you want your reputation to be? My very next tip is repair, reship, refund, and reevaluate. So basically, if at all possible, when you receive bad reviews for a product, if there's anything that you can do to make it better for the customer by repairing the item, reshipping a different one, refunding their order, then do it. Absolutely do it, because it's going to help your overall rating score, especially if you ask them to do so in return for possibly, don't push them, don't force them, but possibly changing their review. And then once you've received, this bad feedback and you realize that there's a flaw in your own system, or maybe this is something that you just should have included in your policies, it's time to reevaluate your policies and see if there's anything that you can add. So basically, if this was just a big misunderstanding, you're going to want to modify your policies to prevent the same occurrence from happening again. This could possibly be someone not realizing how long your shipping times are, or maybe they don't realize that custom orders are going to take a little bit longer than ready-made products. Basically, if it was your mistake and you didn't state something clearly the first time, then you just want to go ahead and eat the price of sending them a new product. It was your mistake, and then go in and change. That way you can prevent it from happening again. Now, what happens if the issue is already covered in your policies? Well, if you already cover whatever it is that they're upset about in your policies and they just haven't read your policies, or they didn't take time to do so before placing the order, that is when you need to contact Etsy. Typically, Etsy will value your policies. So make sure that your policies are very clean, clear, and to the point. Etsy will value those. As much as it sucks to have a really bad rating, like right on your front page for everyone to see, don't respond to the review publicly yet, because once you respond to it publicly and post a comment, you will not be able to have that review removed, either by Etsy or even by the person who left it. So don't respond until you know for sure that it is the only solution. So you might be wondering, what is the very best way to get a hold of Etsy? Well, a lot of sellers don't realize that you can actually request a phone call from Etsy for disputes such as this. So I'm going to go ahead and link this down below. That way you have it, bookmark it, just keep the page somewhere where you won't lose it. But with this link, you can learn exactly how to request a call from Etsy, and they will personally call you. What happens if Etsy can't fix the review. They tell you there's nothing that they can personally do, and you're ready to go ahead and respond to this bit of negative feedback. You've done everything you can, and you just want to make sure that you've at least commented on the review. That way other people who visit your shop can at least kind of see your reasoning or hear your side of the story. So you can respond publicly to this review right from your Etsy storefront. Now, you have to do that within 100 days from the time that that review was left. After that, you will not be able to respond to it at all. Now, once you respond to the buyer, they won't be able to edit that review. So make sure that you've finished all discussions, you've finished talking to them, trying to work it out, you've waited for them to actually respond to your messages. I know that it's so hard. It's hard when you see that really bad review up there. You don't want to leave it there for everyone to see, but like I said, it's better to try to wait it out just for a few days and get it resolved or removed completely rather than actually having it reflect your overall star rating that everyone is going to see from then on out. Now, though responding to bad reviews is obviously pretty important when you get them, the very best way to avoid bad reviews is to just prevent them from happening in the first place, right? I mean, that just makes things a heck of a lot easier. So now we're going to start talking about my tips for preventing bad reviews before they happen, okay? So the first thing, better communication. You need to talk to these people, you know? I mean, they're placing an order with you and putting a lot of trust in you, so they expect you to communicate every step of the way. Don't leave them waiting. And I have a really, really great Q&A video. It's kind of long, but it's called 4 Messages to Send Your Etsy Customers. And this is a video that my husband and I did, and it talks about my swipe files that I personally send to every single buyer. It's 4 messages that I send to my customers. They're absolutely allowed by Etsy. It's not anything like spammy that you're not allowed to do. They completely comply with Etsy's terms of service. So this is something really, really cool that you guys might want to check out. I'll go ahead and link that below in the video description as well. So the next thing, have clear policies. If it could happen, then it might happen. So make sure that you're covering everything that could possibly go wrong, what to do if something breaks, what you cover, what you don't cover. It's just a good idea to be as thorough as possible. My next tip is to add an insert to your package that indicates exactly what the customer should do if there's anything wrong with the order. So if they open their package and the order's broken, or if they open the package and you have made some devastating error and sent them the wrong product, which we're human, it happens, I've done it. But it's really great to put just some type of little printout piece of paper. I personally just use plain computer paper and print out little instructions on what to do if anything goes wrong. If the order arrives broken, where to contact me. I also like to throw in my personal email. That way they feel like they're getting a hold of me faster. And this just really, really helps to clear up any confusion, because if something goes wrong and I really, really goof up, which doesn't happen often, but it does sometimes, they know exactly how to contact me, and they usually prefer to do that rather than rushing off and leaving that bad review. I mean, nobody wants to have to leave a bad review. Most people would rather figure it out with you and work with you so they actually get the product that they paid for. So these little packaging inserts can be a big help. Next up, and probably the most important, and the one that I see Etsy shop owners doing the most, especially in the Etsy forums and in some of the Etsy Facebook groups, not the Handmade Alphas, of course, because we're more civilized than this, but never, ever, ever, ever point blame at the customer, even when you know that they're wrong. I'm serious. I know how stressful it can be when someone says, "Oh, my product arrived and it's broken," and you know for a fact that you packaged that thing like crazy and you can just tell that they did something to it. I had a customer who placed an order with me and they contacted me to tell me that their necklace arrived tarnished. And the thing is, my pendants only tarnish when they've gotten wet. and it was very clear to me that this person had gotten the pendant wet. I could just tell. So the thing is, you can't point blame though. There's no way for you to know for sure. You could be wrong, and if you were wrong and you treated your customer disrespectfully and pointed that blame at them, they're never going to shop with you again, and not only that, they're going to leave you the worst review ever. So though you may feel like you know, you don't know for sure. Never, ever, ever point blame at the customer. And lastly, probably my very favorite, make an action plan for any and all possibilities that, could strike your shop or strike your customer or strike your packages. You have to think about all the possible things that could go wrong. The product arrives broken. The product arrives water damaged. The product doesn't arrive at all. The product gets lost in customs. There are a million things that could go wrong. So the best thing to do is sit with a piece of paper and write out every possible thing that could go wrong, and what you cover and what you don't cover, and how you're going to handle these inevitable disasters that if you decide that you're going to sell for a long time, there will be disasters, trust me. The best thing to do is just have an action plan for when those disasters pop up. That way you know how you'll handle them and you can add that information into your policies. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video helped you out a ton, and I do have one little bit of news that I know everyone has been waiting for. I haven't been able to give a whole lot of information or updates, but I thought that today would be a good day to do so. So, coming soon, Handmade Alpha Academy will be launching in 2018. This is my personal course, which is going to teach you how to dominate Etsy and rise above your competition using proven buyer psychology. In this course, I'm going to be teaching you step by step how to rise to the top of your industry and be the handmade alpha of your niche. At this time, unfortunately though, we do not have an enrollment date because I'm still working on quite a few little kinks and details. However, if you are interested in joining the Handmade Alpha Academy, I will have some enrollment information coming to my email list very soon. That is also going to be linked below, and right when you join that, you will get my free ebook, which is an alpha favorite and covers how to gain a fanatical following of fans on Facebook by using giveaways. So be sure to sign up down below, grab that free ebook, and I will be sure to let you know by email when the Handmade Alpha Academy is open for enrollment. It should only be a few months. I'll be sure to keep you guys posted as I get a little bit closer to launching. I promise I'm not going to leave anyone out of the loop. I've been receiving tons of questions, so I just wanted to let you guys know it's coming. I'm working on it. We just have a few more weeks of work to do before we can announce an actual date. All right, Alphas, as always, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like. Comment down below what you thought of the software that I'm using. I personally like it a whole lot. I think that it's really cool and fun and bright and colorful, so if you guys enjoy it, I will probably start using this for the majority of my videos. I'm really enjoying it, so I hope that you enjoy it too. Also, if you are a new viewer, be sure to subscribe to my channel. That way I can send you even more super awesome Etsy tips. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.